Today I want to talk about proprioception and balance training, and actually it's a question that I don't get asked quite enough. It often gets overlooked for things like the strength and the power, how to develop, how to throw harder or hit the ball farther, and those things are all fine and well, but we also, I think, overlook the importance and the impact that proprioception and balance training can have on those things. So basically, proprioception is our ability to know how and where our body's moving. So essentially, it's our ability to control our muscles and our joints when moving. So if we think about it, when we're doing a squat, we want to be as efficient as possible in order to move the weight, right? So if we have any wasted movement, we're not going to be able to push as much weight as we like. And the same goes for change of direction or fielding a ground ball. If we're wasting any energy, then that's energy that we can't get back. So a couple ways that you guys may have seen people do this is typically like in a rehab setting or something, people doing squats on a Bosu ball. You kind of see their legs shaking up and down. And these are all ways that we can do it. Basically what we're doing is we're introducing an unstable environment, an unstable surface to an exercise. So like the squat, doing the squat on a Bosu ball, or on an Eric's pad, things like that. But before we do those things, we have to make sure that we can do these things on a stable surface, right? So if we can't do a squat on a flat surface, then we shouldn't be progressing into those Bosu ball squats or things like that. And then another thing we should keep in mind when doing this is, what's our goal, right? So if our goal is to work proprioception and balance, then yes, doing a Bosu ball squat is a good way to do that. However, if our goal is to just increase our strength, then we should be just doing the regular squats on a surface where we're just pushing a lot of weight, right? So this is a couple things about proprioception and balance training that I think you guys might benefit from.
So proprioception, like Gabe said, is body awareness and body control and coordination. Okay, so when you see a good athlete compared to an elite athlete, a lot of times that proprioception, that coordination, that body awareness is what differentiates the two. Okay, so improving in that area will help increase your overall athleticism. So it's important for all athletes, but especially for baseball guys, because if you think about it, baseball is about repeating our best mechanics as often as possible. That's how we maximize our potential and maximize our consistency. So if you're a pitcher and we don't have very good body awareness, and we can't keep our body in sync, we can't break our hands at the right time, we can't get our arm in the right slot, there's a lot going on in the pitching mechanics. So if we can't consistently have good body awareness and proprioception, then we won't be able to throw strikes consistently. Okay, and same thing at the plate. All right, if we're a hitter, we don't have good body awareness, we don't have good coordination, especially good hand-eye coordination. All right, when we see a pitch coming, we won't be able to consistently attack that pitch the right way, attacking the inside part of the ball and driving that baseball. Okay, and it goes even a step further when you're working with hitting instructors or pitching instructors, when they want you to make an adjustment. If we don't have good body awareness, good proprioception, we won't be able to quite feel and get in the right spot. So that's why that is so important for baseball players. And then taking that a step further, think about infielders. Okay, proprioception, body awareness, coordination in the infield, that's what differentiates a lot of good infielders from great infielders. Your feet have to be doing something while your hands are doing something else. So if you don't have good coordination, you're not going to be an infielder, especially a middle infielder, for too much longer. So the other side of that, what Gabe was talking about, was the balance stabilization side of training. Okay, and really they go hand in hand with proprioception training and all of that. But the balance side, obviously very important for all athletes, but especially baseball guys. Again, think about it. As a pitcher, okay, we have what's called a balance point. All right, if you can't keep your balance as a pitcher and you're falling all over the place, you're not going to be a pitcher for too much longer. Okay, if you're a hitter, you hear hitting coaches talking about all the time, one of the main things they preach is good balance. If a hitter's falling forward, falling back, they're not going to be very successful at the plate. So you could go into catching, catcher's balance, infielders, whatever. I mean, it's all important. So what goes hand in hand with the balance training is the stabilization, like I just mentioned. And stabilization training is what helps our balance and our coordination and all of that. So stabilization, especially of the ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, and then our main full body stabilizer, which is our core, not just our six-pack muscles, our rectus abdominis, but our entire core. Okay, if we have strong stabilization in those areas, that's going to help us perform better. Okay, and two, it's going to help reduce chances of injury. So if we spend some time in that proprioception balance stabilization phase before we get to our maximal strength hypertrophy power phase, okay, it's going to help our performance, but it's also going to help reduce chances of injury because we built a strong foundation before we start pushing and pressing a lot of weight, pulling a lot of weight, before we start doing some more advanced power movements, or before we even just get into game speed practice movements. So building that strong foundation is key, and like I said, it depends on where you're at as an athlete, how much time you need to spend there, but I recommend all baseball players spending some time in this phase before moving on.